Hi everyone. Yes, good to see you too. So, welcome to today's lesson, which is for speaking part 1, IELTS speaking part 1. Before that, I request you all to please subscribe our channel so that you never miss any exciting videos coming your way soon. And also do like and comment whatever video you want us to make. We'll surely make a tutorial for you. So now let's begin with the speaking part 1. So basically, speaking part 1 is an introduction. Examiner will take your interview. It is not a conversation, but it is an interview. Only the examiner can ask you questions and you just have to respond. Alright, so he can ask you questions related to your home, your hometown, your work, or your studies. So you just have to reply whatever he asks, and the most important thing in speaking tests is that you just have to stay calm. Don't worry at all. He's not gonna say anything to you. Just stay calm, relax, and just keep answering to whatever the examiner is asking. Alright, so on the day of your speaking test, you go to your test center, all your belongings and your mobile phones are kept, and you are directed towards the waiting area. And then when your turn comes to give the speaking test, examiner will invite you. At the time, say hello, and you have to respond to him, of course, by saying hello and with a smile. Try to build a rapport with him so that during the test it is easy for you to answer to his questions. You should not be afraid of him. So let's now begin the questions, the kind of questions that he may ask you in your IELTS speaking part 1. So let us move further, and I'll be telling you some tips and tricks that are very important for your IELTS speaking test. So my number one advice or tip to you is arrive a little early at the test center. Make sure you know the location where your test is going to take place, and you have to arrive there before time to avoid nervousness. I am telling you from my personal experience that arriving even 2 or 3 minutes late can ruin your state of mind and can make you nervous. Arrive early and you will be redirected towards the waiting area. Stay calm. If ever you feel nervous, if at any point of time you feel that you're getting nervous, you're getting afraid of the examiner, just say it in your head that I know the level of my English. This is the level of my English. I can easily answer to all the questions of the examiner, and I am confident enough. Just keep repeating this and you will be doing wonders in your test. Doing well in your speaking part 1 will help you to stay confident in your speaking part 2 and 3 as well. They say first impression is the last impression. Sure that you leave a good impression on the examiner during the beginning of your speaking test. Also, another key point to note down is do not get distracted with whatever the examiner is doing. Focus is the key. You have to keep your focus on answering his questions, no matter what he is doing. He might have a pen and paper, of course, during your speaking test, and he may create some sounds with the pen, or he may write something on the paper. He may write some numbers on the paper. Suppose he wrote 8 on the paper, right? Don't think that he has given you an 8. Do not think, I repeat. He might have written that he has to go out for dinner at 8 and on that day. Do not get distracted by whatever he's doing. Just keep your focus on answering his questions correctly. So let us now move on towards the questions that he'll be asking you. So his very first question will be, what is your name? So at this point of time, you have to answer him your full name. Many of you will answer like Rahul Sharma, Kiranpreet Kaur, Arman Verma, Harsimar Kaur. Guys, please do not give one word answers. If he is asking you your name, you have to respond like this. My name is Kiranpreet Kaur. His next question will be, how may I call you? Then you have to respond like, please call me Kiran. You have to politely say, please call me Kiran. At this point of time, you can tell him your first name or your nickname. Okay? You can also respond like, you can call me Kiran or please call me Kiran. Alright? So his next question can be, what do you do? So in this answer, you have to tell him that whether you study or you work. I am currently working at a multinational company as a software engineer. It's been 3 years I am working in the same organization. My roles and responsibilities include developing new web applications for our customers as well as training the new joinees. So this is how you reply about what do you do. He just asked you what do you do. Many of you will answer like I study or I work. It is incorrect. You have to tell him in detail. You have to respond in at least 2 or 3 lines. If he is asking you your name, you cannot reply in 2 or 3 lines. So you have told him in one sentence that my name is Kiranpreet Kaur. But if he is asking you, what do you do? You have to respond him in 2 to 3 sentences, like I just did. Similarly, if you are a student or you have just completed your studies and you are not working anywhere, you can respond him by saying, I have just completed my education. I did a bachelor's in technology in ECE majors from DAV University, Jalandhar. I aspire to become an entrepreneur. Therefore, I aspire to go to Canada for higher studies, and so I am giving this IELTS test today. See, it is this simple. There is no complex vocabulary. There are no complex sentences. It is simple, pure spoken English. Another issue with most of the students or IELTS aspirants is that they try to cram their answers. While preparing for their IELTS test, they note down their answers and they try to learn them. I repeat, do not learn your answers, do not cram them. This is spoken English, not written English. So an alternative to this is, you can record your answers in your mobile phone and listen to them. In that way, you will respond to the examiner on the day of your test more naturally. So the next question, the examiner can ask you, where do you live? Or he can ask you, where is your hometown? So now this is confusing for many of the students. Some students think that we live in Chandigarh, but our hometown is in Jalandhar, right? So what to respond? They do not understand the examiner's question. Believe me, you can respond any city to this question to him. He does not care. He just wants to assess your English speaking skills. So there are two different things depending on different students or aspirants who are giving the test. If he asks you, where is your hometown? Okay, or tell me about your hometown. You have to tell him about your native place. where you were born and brought up. Where do you live? To this question, you have to answer him where you are currently living. There are many people who are working in different cities other than their hometown, so they can answer their city they are currently living. So, guys, my advice to you is that do not panic over the small things. Whether the examiner is asking you about your hometown or where do you live, just respond him by saying one city in your answer. I mean, you can tell about one city, either where you live or where you were born and brought up, in case the two cities are different. Alright? So, if he asks you, where do you live? You can respond him by saying, I live in Chandigarh. I've been living here for past 3 years as I'm working here in an IT company. I like this city a lot as it is the cleanest city in India. Another thing which I like about this city is that it is very near to my hometown, so I can anytime visit my family and anytime come back to work. After asking you about your city in which you live, the examiner may continue the conversation by asking you another question, which is what kind of jobs do people do in your city? So now you're just confused and worried about what to say. I mean, what kind of a question is this? In my city, there are all kind of jobs that people do. There are bankers, there are IT people, there are drivers, there are laborers, there are we can say teachers, and there are different kind of businesses and entrepreneurs. So what do I respond with? So do not panic at this situation. You just have to pick up one thing that the examiner might be interested in knowing. So basically he wants to know, is there any special kind of job or business in that city which is a major source of income? So you can reply like this. I think in Chandigarh. But the major source of income depends on agriculture, IT, and tourism sectors. Most of the people work there in these sectors, and the most of revenue that is generated is from the crops that are grown in Chandigarh or in the neighboring areas. So guys, this is about the speaking part 1 questions that the examiner might ask you on the day of your test. He can further continue the conversation by asking you more questions about your hometown, your work, your studies, or your family. So the focus, you have to just keep your focus on responding to him and do not get distracted. And another key point to note down is that you have to respond him in 2 or 3 sentences for speaking part 1 test. Okay? Apart from your name, you have to respond to all his questions in 2 or 3 sentences. Alright? You can also extend your answer if you want to, more than 2 or 3 sentences, until the examiner stops you. But my personal experience says that 2 or 3 sentences are enough for speaking part 1. Okay, so when this test starts, my only advice to you is that do not stress, do not just speak in a rush. Speak only what the examiner is asking you. For example, if you're in a party, right, and you meet somebody and you are the only one who is speaking, like, hi, my name is Kiran, I'm from San Francisco, I work here, I live here, my native place is this. You just keep speaking and do not let the other person speak. This gives a wrong impression on the other person. Just say a little bit, only what the examiner is asking. Okay? So guys, that's all about speaking part 1 questions. If you like this video and it will help you in your IELTS speaking test, we also post daily cue card videos, the links for which I'll be sharing in description below. Please subscribe to our channel to never miss any exciting videos that are coming your way soon. Thank you. Keep supporting, keep sharing, and I'll be coming with IELTS reading, writing, and listening tips soon. So stay tuned.